Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel and welcome to my December TBR. I cannot believe that it is December already. This is my last TBR of the year. I actually started my booktube channel in early January, so I have almost been on booktube for a year, which is just crazy, and it has been an amazing year. I'm very, very excited, and I have a lot of books that I have to read this month, you guys. I kind of messed up. Well, it wasn't really my fault, but I fell into a bit of a reading slump in November. So there were quite a few books that I was planning to read in November that I didn't, just because wasn't in the mood for them, was slumpy for like a week, didn't really read anything, and now I'm trying to play catch up. So some of the books on my November TBR, I'm just gonna set down for now. I'll read them next year. We'll see you then. But there are a few books that I really, really want to read because I do think I'm going to love them. They could be potential best books of the year, and I don't want to put them off. So this TBR is going to be comprised of completely books that are just 5-star predictions, some from my November TBR, and then some new ones that I haven't talked about with you all. So I am very briefly going to talk about the books that I do plan to read for my November TBR in December. I'm going to try to get through them very quickly. So these, I don't even think I can hold all these up. These 4 books were on, well, the first 3 books were on my November TBR, and then Sorcery of Thorns was on my October TBR. But I really need to read all these because I genuinely think I'm going to love them all. So Sorcery of Thorns, ACOSF, EOTV, TSS. I don't know why I acronymed all of them, but I am going to be reading these in December because I did not get to them in November, and I'm sad about it because I want to give them a shot, and this is my favorite book, so I want to reread it. But I'm not gonna go through these fully because I already talked about them, but just know these are on the December TBR. They are carryovers. Hopefully I will get to all of them. Okay, so now I'm going to be going through the rest of my December TBR, which is going to be full of books that I have not talked about yet that I also hope to read in December. This month will be very interesting also because at around, I don't know, the middle of the month, maybe December 15th, 17th, somewhere around there, I am going to cut myself off from reading potential new favorite books. The reason for that being is I'm going to be putting out a bunch of end of year content this month, and particularly my best books of the year video. So I don't want to potentially read my best book of the year after I've already put that video out. So I do kind of have to cut myself off at some point so I can get that filmed and then just have my best books of the year, be done, and then just take maybe a little bit of a break at the end of December. So all that being said, I need to read a lot of books in 2 or 3 weeks. So we shall see how that goes, but I'm really excited to get to all of these books. I really, really want to read all of them, and I don't know, wish me luck. So let's get into my official December TBR. So the first 2 books on my TBR are books that have not come out yet. They will be coming out in December. I am very excited for them both. The first is going to be Daisy Hates 2 by Jessa Hastings. She just announced the title today. Actually, it's called The Great Undoing, which that title kind of concerns me. It sounds very ominous. I'm very worried. So if you don't know, Daisy Hates is a part of the Magnolia Parks universe. It's a contemporary romance series set in London and kind of follows this group of friends and kind of acquaintances, kind of all in this social circle. Some of the books follow certain characters, other books follow other characters, and of course Daisy Hates follows Daisy Hates, her brother Julian, and her love interest Christian. The first Daisy Hates book ended on quite the cliffhanger, so I'm very excited and nervous to read this book, but I think it's going to be fantastic. I've loved all of Jessa's books so far, so I'm very much anticipating this one. And then the second book that is coming out in December that I'm very excited for is Anastasia by Sophie Lark. I feel like this book is everywhere. I feel like everyone is so excited for it. It is an Anastasia retelling, so it will be enemies to lovers. I have not seen the Anastasia movie since I was 5, so I need to rewatch that because I don't remember everything, but I'm still very, very excited about this regardless. It's been something that Sophie Lark has been talking about for a long time. I know she's really excited for it, so I'm very much looking forward to it. All right, and then the next book on my December TBR is Babel by R.F. Kuang. This book is everywhere. I believe it recently came out, and so many people have been singing its praises, saying it is fantastic. It's a historical fantasy. It's dark academia. That's really all I know about it, and I think that's all I want to know. I want to go in with very little knowledge and just sort of experience the story for myself, but I've heard the writing is fantastic. The story is very gripping, and I think I'm absolutely going to love it. The next book on my December TBR is going to be Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Melors. So this is actually a literary fiction, which I have not read a literary fiction in a while, but I have been craving it, missing it, and this book gives me major Sally Rooney vibes, so I think I'm really going to love it. So this book follows a British British 20-something artist. She moves to New York City. I think she kind of ends up marrying this older man, and we sort of just followed their lives and like how all that goes. I believe we also followed their friends and their siblings and just kind of these struggles that they go through. And I've just heard amazing, wonderful 5-star things about this book, and I just always love a British 20-something going through it, particularly in New York City. Like, that is just a perfect book to me, so I really hope that I love this. The next book on my December TBR I'm so excited for. It is a reread, and that is House of Sky and Breath. This is the second book in the Crescent City series, which is an adult urban fantasy. It is so fantastic. If you have not read Crescent City, please just stop what you're doing and go read it right now. So I can't talk too much about this book because it is the second book in the series, but I read this book in February when it came out, and oh my god, is all I have to say. This book was amazing. It was so much fun to read this. The ending just, I perished when I read the ending, basically, and I am excited to experience that again. I am rereading this because I know this will be one of my best books of the year. I just don't know if it's gonna be number 1 or number 2 or like where it's gonna be. So I want to reread it, and also I just want to relive it. I'm also gonna be listening to the audiobook for the first time while reading this, so that'll be very exciting. I'm excited to be back with Bryce and the crew and just relive the insanity that is this book. The next book on my December TBR is going to be Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. So this is a contemporary romance. I believe it is an age gap romance, and I think we basically have two people who have lived very different lives, and they come together sort of in like a short-term fling, but then it turns into something more. I've heard incredible things about this book. I think the cover is gorgeous. I really hope that I love this book, and it's a 5-star prediction, so I'm excited. The next book on my December TBR I am very excited about because so many of you basically convinced me to read it. In my bookshelf tour, I talked about how I have all the Shadowhunter books. I've only read 3 of them, and I don't really know if I should continue on with the series, but many of you said to definitely continue on with it, and particularly to read The Infernal Devices. So I am going to pick up Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. I feel like everyone knows what The Infernal Devices is about, but it is a YA fantasy. There's demon hunting, and I believe this particular trilogy is set during the Victorian era, so I am very excited for this. I've heard that the romance in this trilogy is really great, and yeah, I'm excited to see what all the hype is about. The next book on my December TBR is Real by Kennedy Ryan. So this is once again a very highly praised book. All of my friends on Goodreads have given this at least a 4-star. I am so excited for it. This book is set in Hollywood, which I love having Hollywood as a backdrop of a romance. It's just one of my favorite settings, and I think we have a bit of a forbidden romance. I believe we have kind of an up-and-coming actor-singer who gets cast in a biopic, and she and the director have a romance. I believe that's my understanding, but I am very excited. I've also heard that the audiobook is fantastic because I believe that there is singing on the audiobook, so it kind of is more of an immersive experience. I have very high hopes for this book. I think I'm gonna love it. And then the last book on my December TBR is actually not like a 5-star prediction. I don't think this will be on my best books of the year, but that is Midnight in Everwood by M.A. Kuzniar. This is a YA fantasy, and it's a Nutcracker retelling. I just wanted to pick this up because I feel like it's the perfect December Christmassy book. I feel like obviously it's a very wintry cover. Nutcracker is of course a Christmas themed ballet, and I have never read any type of Nutcracker retelling, so I've just heard good things. I think this will be a nice cozy read to finish off the month with. All right, so that is it for my December TBR. I am very excited for this month. Wish me luck because oh my god, I have a lot to read, but I'm very excited for this month. As I said, I will be putting out a lot of end of year content. I will probably be putting out a video every 2 days, maybe a little bit more frequently depending on how like vlogs work out, but I have plenty of videos coming your way leading up to the holidays, and I'm very excited about it. So if you made it to this point in the video and you wanted to let me know, go ahead and leave the snowflake emoji down in the comments. As always, my Instagram and my Goodreads are linked down below. You are welcome to follow me on there at any time. I really appreciate that you watched this video. I hope that you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will catch you guys in the next one.